What's up, guys? So today we're going to be looking at Andy Anderson's third board. So I don't really care about the graphic that much. I care about the shape, and there's some differences here. So it's a little bit steeper than his first board that I skated on this channel. I think the main difference here is going to be on the nose and the tail. We've got these little divots right here that are supposed to improve your 360 flips. Your 360 flips, instead of resting in the pocket, you're resting in this pocket right here. Also, the wheelbase is shorter. So we've got a regular wheelbase, 14.25 wheelbase. So the same wheelbase you'd find on a standard, 8.25. Sometimes on an 8.4 or 8.5, you would find an even longer wheelbase than this. More like a 14.5. His first board had a 15-inch wheelbase, which was quite a bit longer. Now this is still a long board. It says it's 8.4 by 32.5. So there's a lot of boards that are 31. That's because you've got a little extra room. You've got 3 fingers of flat here before the tail and the nose start to curve up. And the nose and the tail are 7 inches or over 7 inches. I'm not exactly sure. But you can tell that it does have a long nose and a long tail. Now it's a twin tail. You could say it's a twin nose or a twin tail or somewhere in between. They're kind of steep. There's plastic here, but you can see it's not mellow. It's somewhere in between a nose and a tail. The nose is probably a little small for a nose and a little mellow for a nose. But the tail is probably a little long for a tail and a little steep for a tail. It's somewhere in between a twin tail and a twin nose. So you could skate it both ways. It's the exact same in both directions. It should be balanced pretty good as a twin. This is a flight board, so it's got that carbon fiber on the top. Yeah, so this is supposed to be George Powell. Andy said in his video, he's got a good description on Nigel Alexander's channel. It's got some nice, like, glittery, shiny look to it. Not that I care about the graphic at all. This is some type of a carpentry tool right here. I know Dan Corrigan said that this is the Illuminati symbol up here, but Andy said something about somebody designed it for him. I don't know what he was talking about, but yeah, it's an interesting graphic. The dragon's not a vicious dragon, it's like a kind dragon. Yeah, so dragons, like in Eastern cultures, are kind, wise creatures, but dragons in Western cultures are like the Bible. The dragon, is the devil, Satan. So yeah, interesting. Got Andy Anderson's signature with his first and last name. You don't really see that often. It's an interesting color. He wanted to add some like flowers or mushrooms down here, but he just went with a pink to kind of balance it, make it a little more feminine, because his first board was so masculine. Yeah, interesting. What do you guys think of this board? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm definitely going to be doing some more videos on it. Just let me know what you guys think of the shape of it. Do you think it's something that you could skate? So here's what the carbon fiber looks like on the top sheet. You can kind of see the shape a little bit better. It is kind of steep, honestly. If you're looking for a really mellow board, that board on skateshred.com is probably a better option. I will have an affiliate link in the description if you want to try this board out. So there you can kind of see the shape a little bit better. It's definitely got some shape and some concave to it. It's got kind of steep kicks, like I keep saying here. I don't know how I'm going to be able to skate on this. I don't know if it's going to be a little hard for me. I don't know if it's going to hurt me. Here's the difference in the steepness from the board that I've been skating to Andy's new board. You can see it is significantly steeper than the board I've been on. You can see that gap represents how much steeper it actually is. You can see the nose is actually steeper as well. I wanted to get some good close-up shots of the deck and the graphic, because I feel like a lot of the videos, they just kind of skipped over that. So I thought I'd do maybe a couple videos on this board.
just to kind of really give a good detailed look at this, the graphic and the shape. This board is specifically designed to improve your flip tricks.
So like I said before, when you're doing 360 flips, you're going to be putting your foot here in this pocket. I'm goofy footed, so I'm on this side. If you're regular footed, of course you're, you know, right here on this side. So yeah, and when you're kicking it, if you're kicking right here, you get a quicker flip for like kick flips and stuff like that. If you're going all the way out here to the nose, just like normal, you're gonna get a little bit higher, slower kick flip. So if you're hanging your foot off more, it's really steep right here, the concave. You hang your foot off, you kick really quick, you're gonna get a quick kick flip. This doesn't stick out as much. It's not, see how it kind of has this huge, it has wings right here. So like if you're doing a dark slide, it's holding you in between these two wings because you don't have trucks sticking out on that side. But also that wing right there, it's like extra concave right here, so you can get a quick kick flip. If you just want to kick flip onto a ledge or something really quick, or into a 50-50, you might kick off right here to the side, hang your toes off, well hang your heel off a little more and just really get a quick kick flip. I think that's gonna help for heel flips and varial heel flips too. The shorter wheelbase is definitely gonna help with tricks that rotate like this, like a varial flip, varial heel flip, 360 flip, 3-shove. The flat tail and the flat nose on the end here, that's so when you pop a pop shove it or a 3-shove, it doesn't start to flip. So when you pop a pop shove it, it goes like this, instead of going like pressure flipping around. If you do want to pressure flip, you have this little pocket here, so you can pop right there and do a pressure flip. Yeah, I would probably do it like right here on the pressure flip, pop shove it right here, it's not going to flip. There's a lot of technology going into this board. It's really light. I've already kind of messed the graphic up here somehow. I haven't even stood on the board, so I don't know how that happened. So it's not like those almost impact boards. There's just carbon fiber on the top. You know, some people say it's fiberglass, some people say it's carbon fiber. What's the difference really? Who cares? On the other side, there's just wood. You can see right there where I've accidentally worn through it without even standing on the board yet. So yeah, let's grip it up.
It might be hard to grip. I was able to lay the grip tape on it without any part of it hanging off. It's not a super big board, but it was first try on this, so let's see what happens. Alright, so we've got the shape here now. I've got a really dull blade, so we'll see if I'm able to actually cut it without messing up. So there was no problems at all cutting the grip tape. So I think flight boards are actually easier to grip because I believe they have a little bit more concave, like on the edges they curve up, and that fiberglass or carbon fiber, whatever you want to call it, I think that helps. Gives it some shape there on the edge. They've got a nice edge to them. All the flight boards just have this nice edge to them. I've got some air bubbles because it's not mop grip. It's some cheap diamond grip that I got a good deal on. Got a whole box of it or something a while back. So I'll just pop those as I go. It's hard to throw left-handed while holding a camera straight and not move the camera. There we go. So I'm gonna try some tricks on the trampoline first before I put some trucks and wheels on it. So right now I've got one skate shoe where I cut out the side here because it was killing my toe, like my toenail on my big toe, because it's a little bit tight. And then I've got one barefoot running shoe. This is a Witten shoe from Amazon. They're like $20. This has a wider toe box. I have that because the sole completely ripped in half on the other skate shoe that I had, and I'm still waiting on some different skate shoes to come in. So I really don't have any like complete pair of skate shoes that's actually functioning right now. So this thin barefoot running shoe with no insole kind of feels like these Nikes. I take the insoles out of these Hyperfeel Bruins and the Hyperfeel Janowskis anyway, because I get them kind of tight, like a size smaller than I measure on a Brannick, and I just take that insole out, and yeah, I can have more board feel with a super thin, like 3mm sole. So skating on the trampoline, it feels a little small for me. And honestly, from what I've said on YouTube, it's kind of the opposite of what I like. Steep kicks, but the actual concave, like, it feels a little mellow. It's not flipping as fast as I thought it would, but we'll see if it's like that when I put trucks on it and try to skate it, you know, on the actual skate park or the street. So I went with the Indy 159s. They're a little bit bigger than the board because the board's only 8.4. These trucks are 8.75, but this is the smallest Indies I have. This is the same truck that Dan Corrigan was skating with this board. This is what he skates, and if you saw his video, he did a lot of flip tricks. So just because the truck is bigger than the board, that doesn't mean you can't land a lot of complicated flip tricks. This is also the same truck that Christopher Hyatt skates, who's also someone who skates flight decks and shaped boards from Powell. And he also does a lot of technical skating, a lot of flip tricks. So one thing about this board, when I learned to kickflip, I learned to kickflip off the concave, like off the side, because I was a little kid. But if you're trying to kickflip up something, you have to kickflip up onto the nose, like right off here, because that's gonna pull the board up with you, like you're ollieing. So with this board, it's got a nice area here you can kickflip up there, or it's got this wing, this curved out area here, so you can kickflip right in this area. I would probably kickflip like right in here when I first learned to kickflip, but probably I'm going to be kickflipping right here and even 360 flipping right here. Kind of like Shane O'Neill does his 360 flips, he does them way up here. A lot of people do them with their foot back farther, but if you look at Shane O'Neill, he's one of the best 360 flippers. He does them really consistently, really good, and you'll be able to 360 flip a little higher if you do it like that. So yeah, this is what it looks like set up with the trucks. I kind of like the moon back there behind the dragon. I'm not a big fan of dragons, not a big dragon guy, but it does look kind of cool. So I've definitely still got some air bubbles going on, but I can tell this is going to be a good board for 360 flips. So yeah, let's just skate. But I'll move on to the skate park because this area is super rough. So I can tell that it's a shorter board. I can tell that it's a steep board. It might be better with Thunders. Right now I'm skating it with Indies, but yeah, it's probably a Thunder board for me. I might do a video comparing Thunders to Indies on this board, because this board is a good example of why Thunders are better sometimes or why Indies are better sometimes. Right now I'm trying to figure my manuals out, because it's much steeper than what I've been skating. So far I haven't felt pain in my ankle or my knee or my hip from it being steep, but we'll see if that happens later in the day. So I feel like this board causes you to sit more in the back seat than a normal board. So you have to kind of adjust when you're going from a normal board to this board. I was trying to use this pocket for my pressure flips and my 360 flips, but I ended up going back to the way I normally do them, right here in this pocket, just because it's so steep and that's just what I'm used to. I think there's a little bit of a learning curve to use this pocket rather than this pocket for those tricks. This board's really poppy. It's got a big nose, so I think it's gonna be a good nose slide board. I mean, it's not actually a big nose, it just feels big. I don't know why. I feel like I have got a lot of nose, but it's kind of a short nose, I guess. Maybe that the nose is a little bit flatter and they're both kind of a nail or a toe. They're not really a nose and a tail, they're in between. Maybe that's what it is. Because the board is a little steeper than normal, I'm getting a little ghost pop. You can fix that by putting a nose and tail guard on. That gives you a little quicker pop. Sometimes I'll fix boards by doing that. I'm struggling with certain flip tricks right now. I feel like having the flat tail and flat nose does help with actually popping your pop shove-its and not allowing them to flip. I feel more comfortable popping my pop shove-its and not just kind of sliding them like I normally do. I did a few board slides and I like having a flight board again for rails, because on the blank that I was on, I was really nervous that it was gonna break the board. Olling onto a rail for a board slide or a lip slide. I really like that. It's light, it's poppy, it's strong. I like that you can skate one side and then when you wear that out, get razor tail, you can flip it around and skate the other side since it is a twin tail. Personally, so far, I dislike this board for skating ramps, but I do like this board for tech stuff. I think this is a good flat ground board. I think it's very like street Olympics contest board. It makes me want to actually kick flip off the nose. It makes me want to pop things, you know? It's very tech. For me, I think it skates like a normal 8.25 popsicle deck, but you get a little more room to land and it does spin 360 flips kind of fast. It is nice for that. I know Andy skates mini logo trucks, but with Indies, this is one of those boards where you really have to kind of pop things high and catch them, and you have to have good balance to land because you don't have a really big wheelbase. It's kind of a small board. It's a small feeling board. It feels smaller than any 8.4 I've skated because it's not really an 8.4. It's like an 8.1 with 8.4 wings right on the sides of the bolts. So it's a small board. So I've got less than an hour to make this video and skate today. So I'm not gonna worry about flip tricks on this board with this setup. Maybe tomorrow I'll go to a bigger skate park and I'll set up some smaller Thunder trucks with some of the Dragon wheels or something on here. But with the 8.75 truck and the tiny board, I'm not feeling flip tricks right now. So yeah, it's kind of like the local Joe's video where his trucks and wheels were just off the first day of skating it. That's what it feels like. I feel like I need to find the right truck and wheel setup. Maybe I have to skate mini logos on this. Do you have to skate mini logo trucks and mini logo wheels when you skate this board? Andy, let me know in the comments below. You might say, Michael, if it's so steep and it wants you to pop so high, why are you popping so low? That's because I'm keeping my foot in this safe little area and I'm pretending the board has a 1-inch tail popping right there. Because I'm not comfortable on this board yet. I'm not comfortable putting my foot all the way back here and getting its full pop potential because it's so short and it pops so quick. I'm not used to that. I'm used to a really long wheelbase, so like a 15-inch wheelbase right now. So my body's just not prepared for how quick this board pops. You know what I mean? It depends on what you're used to. Some people might be used to a wheelbase like this and it might work fine right off the bat, but for me, I'm used to a bigger board. Even when I skated Andy's first board, I thought it felt short, and I got the bigger version because I was coming off of a 10.75 Jeff Grosso Anti-Hero with Jim Jones on it, which was one of my favorite boards, and going to Andy's 9.13 or 9.3 or whatever it was, it felt tiny, you know. It felt short and tiny. So yeah, this feels super tiny, super quick, steep, almost like I'm skating a mini board just because I'm used to such a long flat board. If you're someone who likes to kickflip onto things or kickflip over things, this might be a good board for you. When I try to do a kickflip off the tip of the tail, it's like it's wanting me to kickflip really high up over something. It's throwing the tail way up, like it wants me to suck that tail up like I'm boning out an ollie just when I'm doing a normal kickflip. These wheels and bearings feel like they're dragging along, so tomorrow's video is probably going to be skating the same board with Thunder trucks, smaller trucks, and different wheels. So stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, scroll through my channel. I've got a lot more videos, and hit that subscribe button because I got a lot of videos to come. Thanks for watching. Also, the guy that owns Killer Skate Park, the one that Chris Hyatt skates for, he talked to me and told me that Chris Hyatt has a pro board coming out from Powell Pro Shaped Board in 2024. Also, Dan Corrigan has a pro shaped board coming out in 2024. If this was my board, I would lengthen the wheelbase. I don't like the short wheelbase actually. I would lengthen the tail and make the tail a lot more mellow. I know it's a twin nose and tail, but I think the tail feels a little weird in the back. I like the nose a lot. It's good for nose slides. It's good for nose manuals. This works good for a nose, but for me, for a tail, it just doesn't work.